Hey everyone, welcome to Cosmic Tea. We missed you so much, and I'm gonna get Melissa. Hi everyone, where are you from? Please come in and share where everyone is from. Hello, hello, happy Tuesday. We're doing it a little bit different this week because we have a lot of really exciting announcements for all of you. So we have lots and lots of things going on. I think I see Miss Melissa Catherine coming in. I hope. Let's see. Please share where all of you are from. I know last time we had people from literally all around the world. So please share with us. Hello, hello, everyone. So today is going to be a really New Hampshire. Yes, not far away. I love that. Hola, Maine. Wow, isn't that cute? It says Melissa Catherine is unable to join, which is a problem, quite frankly. But we're going to try again because we're in Mercury retrograde and we're not going to let that slow us down. So today on Cosmic Tea, we're going to be talking about shadow side and shadow aspect. So this is a really interesting topic because everybody talks about the best parts of themselves, which is great. Melissa Catherine, where are you? But there's another version of everyone, just like the sun and the moon, that is not the part that we necessarily always bring out into the open and share with everybody. And that is called our shadow side. Hello, Melissa. You're in the chat. It says that you can't come. It says you can't come to the party. I don't know why. That really makes me sad. Oh my goodness. You got a Mercury retrograde. Okay, Melissa, I'm sending you a request as we speak. I'm not exactly sure. Okay. So I'm going to give her just a second. And then, oh,
there. Hi,
okay,
guys.
okay, there we go.
I know, I'm requesting, but it's not working.
You know what? Mercury retrograde is just really interesting.
Retrograde. It's been killing me slowly. Can I say how much I love your hair?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've gotten so many compliments on it. It will only stay like this for a little while, but I'm enjoying the 5-minute prep time while I can.
So, yeah, as somebody that my hair is like down to my butt, I'm like, hi. Okay, shadow. I love this topic.
Yeah, so I was just
any more perfect.
Yeah, I was just kind of prefacing it by saying that we all have a side that we present to the world, which is, you know, hopefully, you know, our best foot forward and all of the positive attributes that we want people to know about us. And they are true and they are valid. But because there is balance in all things in the universe, there is also a shadow. So there's also a dark side to all of us. And I don't mean dark like evil, although that could very well be true. Also, I don't know you personally, but all of us, even like the most enlightened people, have a shadow side. So what is the shadow side? My definition of the shadow side, and when I work with people about not only identifying what it is, because it can really unlock a lot of triggers and a lot of insecurities, but how do you make peace with the fact that, first of all, you have one, because we're taught that anything that is not exactly the way that we want it, especially as women, is bad. And secondly, we're taught that those are the things that we should tuck away and not let anybody see about us. So your shadow side is just the balancing of your light. And again, I always have people think of the sun and the moon because each has value. And so it is the aspect of yourself that typically contains a lot of your fears and insecurities and things that you don't necessarily or normally always share with the world. It is how you behave and what your thought processes are before you run it through your processing system of like, okay, well, how would Olivia 2.0 respond to that? And how would Olivia 5.0 respond to that? So shadow side can kind of be like the 2.0. I'm interested to hear what your version is, Melissa, of shadow.
Well, I think one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk about this is because, and I loved everything you shared, as always. Especially like, guys, we're coming up on, we have our Awakened Woman retreat, and so much about the awakening process. And we look at this month of September and astrologically, and the energy is all about new beginnings. And it's really about closing chapters and looking, and with all endings, there is also that die off, and there's that part of ourselves, the shadow, that comes forward and really starts to test in so many ways. And I've received so many messages, and I know myself, I've had a lot of the shadow come up as I go higher and as I step into new things. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because it's so easy to sit there and say, and to go like, I want this. And then what happens is the self-sabotage, or getting stunted, or feeling stagnant, or getting in your own way, and self-doubts and negativity, and really falling into that. And sometimes it can feel really challenging to go, how do I bring myself higher all the time? And that's why Olivia and I are so committed to being those voices and to supporting you as well as we do ourselves in what are the processes that we do to bring ourselves higher. Because it's not like we wake up every day being like, every day it's like I'm on lithium, and we decide and we choose, and some days the day takes you away in a different path. And so with the month of September, and with there being this ending of chapters, we really get to look at everything and go, well, what do we want now? And who do we want to be? And as Liv was saying, operating from that higher consciousness. Now, operating from that higher consciousness, we can say, oh, in theory, of course, yeah, that version of me. But in the moment, it's not always easy to operate as that higher version of you when it isn't your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone, your thermostat settings here. And the shadow comes out, and we can equate the shadow to the ego. We can equate the shadow to human conditioning. We can equate the shadow to all the parts of yourself that does doubt you, that does say you can't, that those parts of you, one of the things that I teach in wholeness is returning to the truth of who you are before you ever thought you were less than. From any trauma, from any life event, from the number on the scale, from anything. So there's this whole side of you that has a whole set of beliefs that are not aligned with your higher self or with the truth of who you are, with your whole being. And however, that side of you has been leading you through most of your life and making all of those decisions for you. And we can balance. And I love when Liv was saying, it's that balancing of the sun and the moon. And one of the things that I'm so committed to is to reminding you of the truth of who you are. And Liv is as well. And that's why we do so much around, why do you think we run the Awakened Woman events and whole series and our webinars and everything we're about, and Cosmic Tea and the Girlfriend's Guide to the Universe. And that's what we're doing here. Hello, Brazil. We love our international audience. But the thing with the shadow side is, so what do we do when we see it? How do we get around it? Because it's always going to operate. And so many will say to me, well, isn't it ever going to go away? Like, I thought I was doing so great, and then I got pulled back. Well, it's always going to be there because we're human. We're not just divine beings running around. I mean, we are divine beings, but we're not just, that's a part of being human, is you have the contrast, and you want the contrast, guys. That's how we know when love feels so good and sadness is, then there's happiness and success and failure. And that's what's so beautiful. So here are some concrete things with the shadow. And as the shadow rears its head, one, I need you to call it out. And I need you to be that outward observer. So step one in my things is really going, I am not my thoughts. I am just a thinker of my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I am just a thinker of my thoughts. I had one of my mentors say that to me, Jim Fortin, years ago. And I remember, I loved it. And it was so helpful. This was many moons ago, but in just separate out from the thought. The next thing that I want to tell you that I do every morning is I give myself a hug. And what that does, it's soul's recognition in your counterpart within oneself. And so all too often, especially as women, we're in self-rejection. And that means we're not even looking at ourselves in the mirror. We're definitely not being kind in the words that we say. When you wake up in the morning and you wrap your arms around yourself and you touch your heart, you touch your skin on your cellular level, you're saying, hey, I've got you, boo. I've got you. You've got me. This is the most important relationship that you're going to have. And it's going, no matter what comes at us today, we're in this together instead of separate. And that's a beautiful thing. And then watch your words. Create a playlist. Get your phone. Create a voice recording that is all positive affirmations and loving words that you say to yourself. Be that cheerleader that you've always wanted. Be the approval. Be the accepting, unconditionally loving voice that you're constantly looking to get from all of these outside influences and other people. And learn to be that for yourself. And soon that voice will be the voice that's always constant in your head. Those are my top 3 for really working with the shadow.
I love that so much. I love that, giving yourself a hug, because, you know, as we've seen with COVID, and even, you know, in my work in medicine, when even as infants, we are neglected human touch. There's something psychologically really interesting that happens where our body stops producing serotonin at the levels that is necessary for balanced biochemistry. We experience a pain threshold that is much lower than it typically would be. And all of these sort of very intrinsic things start to occur where our body starts to, as you said, begin to perform that separation. And so when you start by touching yourself, when you start by hugging yourself, when you start by, you know, whatever, I'm just going to say it, like, this is one of the biggest tips that I give the women that I work for, specifically that are like, you know, oh, I've been through this illness and I don't think I'm attractive. I'm like, grab your own ass. They're like, what? I'm like, no, grab your own ass with a period at the end of it. Why do I say that? Because chances are 99.999% you have a great ass. And like, you need to pep talk yourself up in the morning. So Melissa like said it so eloquently, is that you're loving yourself. My version is something like, hey, badass.
Well, it's actually scientifically proven.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we need to do a hug yourself, love yourself challenge.
Absolutely.
So you were saying, sorry.
My version is a little bit more like, hey, badass, like, you survived all of the worst things that you thought were going to kill you. You're pretty much unstoppable. And I will talk to myself throughout the day. And then you should end it with grabbing your own ass or whatever feels right. Like hugging, but doing something that's like a physical act of affection. I also talk to myself nonstop. So I will talk myself through all of the little idiosyncrasies in my day that would typically trip most people up. For example, I will get on the treadmill and I'll trip and I'll be like, well, Olivia, that was really amazing. Like, you were just, you're very coordinated this, but I'll have that process instead of being like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like, no, I'm in my own little world. And to some extent, you have to do that. You have to put on the blinders, and it has to be an internal dialogue with yourself. And it would be wonderful if we could Band-Aid all of the negative self-talk that we've inherited, and that can sometimes just, you know, be there as a human being. As Melissa said, we are a spiritual being, an energetic being having a human experience, right? Not the other way around. We're not coming into
and we need to acknowledge that spiritual side.
Yeah,
that part so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So instead of the other way around. So it's not something you have to reach for. It's something that you already are. And the human part is just like, that's just what we're wearing today, right? We're just wearing this body for however many years we get it. So whatever happens here, is not permanent. This is not the be all and end all. Who you are inside and how you feel about yourself, that's the only permanent part about your life and how you experience true love and true connection. So the shadow side is kind of a jerk. The shadow side will get in the way of your connection with yourself, even though it's a part of yourself. It is a part of yourself that you need to make peace with. And that if you can't make complete peace with it, because guess what? It's going to change. It's going to evolve just like every other part of you. You need to develop a working relationship with. And everything that Melissa said about not going, oh my gosh, I have, this insecurity or that insecurity. You can change that dialogue and your cells and your psychology will immediately begin to shift. So change the verbiage from, I have this insecurity, to, I'm working through this insecurity right now. And this might be a situation that's presenting that to me to take care of, or to work through, or to assess, or to grow from. Because your shadow side is not static. Your light side is not static. Both are parts of who you are, and both are very necessary ingredients for not only who you are in this moment, but who you are becoming and who you want to become. So you can hate one or both, but that means you gotta love one or both. So my advice to you would be to appreciate the balance. When the shadow side rears its ugly head, and you can identify with your shadow side when somebody cuts you off in traffic, when you make a big mistake and that negative self-talk starts like, why do you always do this thing, et cetera, et cetera. It's there, right? And as Melissa said, it's driving the bus, and typically has been for a long time. So it's about the balance. You're never going to get rid of it. And, it's actually a really necessary part of who we are. But you can make fun of it and with it, right? So internal dialogue would be my tip, as well as doing other things, such as that pep talk in the morning. I mean, that really can change your outlook for the rest of the day. You can ride that high for a good 24 hours.
I love this. And it's, guys, that morning time, you want to intercept the mind immediately upon waking. Don't go to your phone. Don't go to anything else. Give yourself the grace of that morning time. And what we'd really call it's you priming you. It's priming your higher self. It's allowing for that connection and the divine guidance to come through, to tell you messages, to give you insight. So really, really allow for that time. I don't turn my phone over. I don't get on my phone or do anything for anywhere from an hour to even 2 hours first thing in the morning. And it is a game changer, even if you can do that for 30 minutes. The other thing that I really want to say with the shadow is, here's the thing, let it drive you, because the shadow is based on fear. And what do we know? There's only two human emotions, love and fear. What's on the other side of fear? Fear and excitement, can ride the same energetic plane. So use it to your advantage. And also start to ask yourself, what is really there? What is there for me? Because the shadow is the part of you that really hides behind a film of perfection. And it says things like, well, you can't start that business. You don't have enough money, or you can't start that business. You need to go back to school first, or you need to get this certification, or you can't be a coach because you're not healthy enough, or you don't have the body to go and do this, or you're not in good enough shape, even though you felt this, and one of the things that we always say is a desire in your heart is meant for you, and your dreams will in so many ways kind of haunt you if you don't follow through on them. They will keep showing up for you in different forms until you start acting on them. The shadow is the part of you that does believe you're less than and loves to keep you at status quo. And when you just start looking at it and going, okay, well, I see you and I hear you. And what is the opposite of what the shadow is wanting you to do? Well, the shadow is wanting you to stay stuck. So what's the opposite of staying stuck? Getting into action. So what is one action that you can do today, that this is our cosmic tip, that's going to propel you forward towards what it is that you want tomorrow? Don't make it a mountain. Just what is one thing that you can do today? Because once you start being in action, the shadow starts going, oh, wait, whoa, she's now taking control. And I'm just here. And I'm a part of this, but I'm no longer front and center stage on the gas pedal with the steering wheel. I'm now taking a back seat, and she's now driving, right? And once we do that, what the antithesis of fear is taking action boldly in the direction of your dreams, right? It is whatever that is for you, whether you're just going, I just want to be happy. I don't even know what I want, but I want to find clarity, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. That will come to you, but it doesn't come by you sitting and being up here. See, everything up here in the head is managed through the ego. It's managed through the shadow. It's managed through the shadow lens. When you are actually in the body, you are in divine connection and inspiration, which means you're in creation, you're in flow, you're in action. So what is the quickest way to get the shadow to quiet down and to sit there? And you just have to go, no, I see you and I hear you, and I'll be with you for a minute, and I'll see if there's anything I need to move through with you. I don't want to bypass you, and I'm not giving you any more stage time. So I'm going to get into action. And I know that the more that I'm in action, the more I will create, and the less ammunition you will have to throw at me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, as you said, if you want to break cycles, and part of gaining control and establishing balance of the shadow side is breaking cycles that have been perpetuated for probably a lot longer than we'd like to admit to ourselves. The way to do that, how do you break a cycle? You start. And when do you start? You start now. And when do you decide that you want to do differently? When is the best time? Is now. It's always now, because this is when the fullness of your power is. So even if you can't take an action now, you can have a thought and you can make a decision mentally, emotionally, and energetically. And that is the same in terms of frequency as taking an action. It's actually more powerful. So if you're listening to this and you want to know, yeah, gosh, that sounds like me, a lot of the shadow talk or a lot of the negative self-talk, but how do I break that? A, you're in the right place. And B, you make a decision. You make a decision that you want to invite more balance into your life, and that you are going to today, right this moment, even if you don't have all of the necessary information or you don't know every single step that you're going to take, you're going to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to start to accept and then eventually love even the darkest and most shadow parts of yourself, and you will get there. But you can start with the decision right now, today, in this moment, that you want to invite that change in. And that's really how all massive change occurs, is by one small step made in an immediate sense. So we are so passionate about this subject, and it's something that we love so much, and that we invite you all to continue the discussion on. And if any of you have any show topic discussion pointers or tips or anything that you would like us to talk about that's really been nagging at you or bugging you, please send it to us. And we are happy to have a chat, about it, because we are here to help you. It's what we love. It's what we do. Hi.
Oh my God, that was so weird. I just wanted to, okay, that was so strange. So strange.
Well, that's kind of what we do, are all the strange things. So
I know. Well, normally I was putting I was grabbing our link. And then, but I don't know why it like booted me out. It was very strange. But are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
I was saying hi to all the new people that came into the chat.
Amazing. Guys,
yeah.
We have loved, I love this topic. And one of the things that I'm telling you, like if you're in that space of going, I'm ready for my next chapter, I'm ready, I just don't know what it is, or I'm ready to go big and I really need to have a mindset adjustment, and I've been trying to go at it alone and I'm so sick of it because I'm taking one step forward and 10 steps back, and you're ready to go there now, this is what we're doing at our Awaken Woman retreat. And this is an invitation We have a few spots left. It is taking place September 24th through the 26th. You can either join us virtually, or you can sign up and join us live and in person. We have a few spots left. We would love to have you either way. So I'm going to put, or the link, I guess I'll try to put it back here again. There is the link. And if you guys want to come, just DM us any questions, but go there, check it out. If it feels right for you, definitely hop on board, either join the live stream, and do it virtually if you can't attend it live, or definitely come and spend 3 magical days with us. You will not be the same when you leave.
In so many ways, in so many ways. Melissa, Catherine, this has been one of my favorite things to discuss. Thank you all so much for tuning in all around the world. It's been such a pleasure. And we will be back next week for an episode of Cosmic
Yes,
Tea.
we will.
We sure
will.
We will
be back at our regular time on Wednesday at 4, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think we will. In the interim, if you have any questions or any subject matters that you would like to discuss,
oh my God,
please
you'll be with me live and in person. Next week we'll be together.
Oh, I'll be in Florida next week.
Yeah. I'm
excited. Okay, so you're going to get,
together.
You guys are going to get a twofer. Even better. 2 for 1.
So good. So good. Oh my God. Okay.
Take care, everyone. This has been another episode of Cosmic Tea. I am Dr. Olivia Audrey, and this is my beautiful co-host, Melissa Catherine. Take care of yourselves. Send us your questions. Like, save, and share this video with your friends, your family, and anybody that can benefit. We love you all so much. Stay safe and take care of yourselves until we talk again.
Bye, guys.